I believe in Conor. I believe he's going to come back from that. I believe he's capable of overcome that obstacle. The best thing that can happen for Conor, personally, is to get an immediate rematch. He has a very big pride. And I remember for myself, when you lose to someone, I want to have an immediate rematch. I believe Conor can come back from that loss. He's a kind of fighter. I believe he fuel himself on confidence. You know, like when he's confident, that's how he perform at his best, and he like to act confident.
But you could see a little bit less of that McGregor swagger as he walked to the octagon. And I don't care what you say. Anybody that watched the fight could see it, right? He just didn't seem. I mean, he just didn't seem like the same guy.
Where you're like, shit, I'm fighting the man, the myth, the legend, McGregor. But now that bubble's been burst a little bit. Dustin Poirier made him look human. The last footage we saw of Conor was him lying on the floor. I know he wasn't asleep, but it wasn't a pretty look.
I truly believe that some people need that edge. Do I think he needs to go as far as he went with the Khabib fight? No, that was too far. But I think some of those guys need that edge a little bit, man. And I think that for McGregor, he's showing a maturity about him that he may not have had before. But I think that some of these guys need that edge.
I thought Conor was going to win. I was wrong. I was very surprised how Poirier keep his composure under the pressure. Because I think one of Conor's biggest strength is he overwhelmed his opponent with his pressure, with his presence, with all the information that he gives his opponent's brain, all the stuff that he does, the kick, the talking, all that. He overwhelmed his opponent, and a lot of them, they fold under pressure. But Poirier, he stays sharp, and that was a real testament of how good he is, It was amazing. And now it will be interesting to see how Conor can come back from it.
Well, the thing was that was the big game changer for Poirier, was that he took McGregor's best shot.
He was like, wait a minute, I can take this. And there's a lot said about Conor's punching power, and it has proven to be very jarring. But that's two people now that have told me that. Khabib told me on Fight Island, he goes, he hits hard. He goes, nothing ever hit me. And I went, wow. He said, that's why I was continuing to kind of press him the way that I did, because nothing made me go, oh my God, this guy hit so hard. And Dustin felt the power, but when he didn't go down, because remember, it only took one the first time. So once he took a clean shot right on the chin, you can almost see the confidence grow.
So he took that shot and he was able to take that shot, and that's going to give him tremendous confidence, which we saw. And then he started landing, and he was like, and he was talking a bit of shit to McGregor as well.
He would throw a lazy jab, I would pull back and I would touch him with a jab. Or he would start taking pictures of his combinations, and I would pull out and hit him with a hook. I got you, man. I can box too.
And he went to Conor, he kind of pointed at him like, hey, you better be careful. So I spoke to Dustin before we left, and takedowns was a part of what he was going to try to do. At least give him a different layer of mixed martial arts to think about. And takedown was nice. It wasn't traditional, right? Conor can defend traditional takedowns.
I wanted to land takedowns early, and we wanted to mix my kicks and takedowns with the boxing. We wanted to mix everything up and keep him guessing. Kick low, kick high, punch the body, punch the head. And we didn't want to sit too heavy on my jabs, because he has a really good counter too, or he'll counter over the jab. At the same time, great timing, some of the best in the game, and I didn't want to be too heavy on my front foot with my jab. We wanted to kick and work in takedowns.
In a wrestling match, this will not work, but because of all the different things you got to worry about in the fight, the punches, the kicks, Conor was taking punches up top. That's what Dustin Poirier does. I'm not worried too much about the wrestling. Dustin tricked him.
Rip calf kicks, rip them, and we did. The first one I threw landed like, I've been kicking long enough, and when you land with the top of your shin, the thick part of your shin right under your knee, and you turn it the right way, it's so heavy and it hurts so bad, especially on a calf.
The leg kicks become available because they're both southpaws.
My leg is completely dead, and even though I felt like I was checking them, it was just sinking into the muscle at the front of the leg, and it was badly compromised. And it's like an American football in me suit at the minute.
I started kicking through his check because he wasn't checking correctly. It was still the muscle part of his calf. He wasn't turning his shin all the way outward, so it wasn't shin to shin. Even when he checked, he was getting the bad part of the kick.
Those leg kicks are not to be messed with. You know what I mean? that calf kick, the low calf kick. I've never experienced that, and it was a good one.
And I know from experience, I've been crippled with those kicks from Jim Miller. I've been hurt with them a few times. The swelling in your calf, it has nowhere to go. It's not like a thigh where it can spread out all over. That's when you have compartment syndrome. The swelling gets stuck in pockets, and it's so painful.
Since this whole low leg kick thing started, Conor McGregor's been gone. He only fought Donald in that time. Back in 2016, when he was very active, people weren't throwing that as much. It's a thing that started, recently, and it's become more prevalent in mixed martial arts. And he never fights southpaws. So nobody's really throwing those kicks at him like that. And he just looked like he had never seen it and had never really dealt with it before.
The calf kicks, we see them utilized all the time. In modern MMA, you see them all the time. They are a game changer, and you've got to prepare for them. And it seems like that was one aspect of Poirier's game that was overlooked by Team McGregor.
You need to find what he thinks he did wrong in his previous preparation leading up to the fight, whether if it's his training regarding his life or whatever, and not making the same mistake twice. His confidence will grow from there, and he will be able to come back a better Conor McGregor, or at least as good as he was.
Think about this: if you're a Conor McGregor nut hugger like I am, this is the first time he was beat at his own game. Every other single loss inside the UFC was submission. We've never seen him get beat at his own game. He fancies himself a striker. We've never seen him get knocked out on the feet. The Khabib fight's like, all right, yeah, Khabib's just going to grapple him, choke him out. Nate Diaz fight, he got his back, choked him out. All right, but if it stays on the feet, Conor can knock him out. Well, it stayed on its feet. Conor got knocked out. So as a Conor fan, you're like, oh shit, it's over.
He's not done. He's far from done. So, he's got to be careful what he does, because he can rebuild from this. He can come back. But if he was to go out there in his next fight and get beat again in his next fight, then you would start to say, okay, perhaps the era could be over. It's not over yet. He can rebuild from this, and he can come back and turn it all around.
I call that a reborn. He need to reborn. To what I mean by that is, he need to change things in his training, in his life, that he believe was the cause, one of the cause of his failure. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, as long as he believed